What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens video. Now today, guys, we are going to be doing something a little bit different. Now, I tried to be more on the good side when it comes to doing the Yu-Gi-Oh! 7 series, I think I've been enjoying this to a pretty good standard from, honestly, when I started watching the series, or even before the series started, even though I had a lot of criticism going into the show. I've been really enjoying it for so far, but this video is going to be on the negative side of things, as in this video, I'm going to address an issue in regards to Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens. Now, before I actually get into the discussion, I do want to mention that this is going to contain a spoiler to the episode 38 summary. Now, the thing is that this is actually the first time since I've started doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens, and honestly just Yu-Gi-Oh! Content in general. Like, when I used to do Vrain's reviews back in the day, I actually did not read the summary until I had watched the episode. That way, I kept caught up with the episode. So, I wanted to kind of not really have to do this, but for this video, I kind of had to do it. So, if you guys do not want any spoilers, because the episode has not come out at the time of this recording, I'm recording this actually Friday night, so the episode has not come out yet. In fact, probably when you get in this video, the episode probably won't be out anyway, so yeah. So if you don't want any spoilers on episode 38, please just put this in your watch later or something like that. Come back when you have watched, honestly, episode 38, I would say. Or if you're interested in the summary after you watched episode 37, then come back and watch that. And I will talk a little bit. I won't talk about my thoughts on the summary. I'll still do a summary preview analysis, which I didn't do one for 37 for two reasons. A, for kind of this video, and B, I did not want to kind of talk about it because the summary was pretty interesting to say the least, but you know what? It happens sometimes. But anyway, I'm going to be getting into this. You have been warned, so without further ado, guys, let's get right into it. So, the issue with this series. So, before we even get into the full discussion, let me kind of I'm going to just read the episode 38 summary that we got. This is fresh out of the oven, I believe. So, let's get into it. I'm not going to read the title or anything like that. I'm just going to show just the actual text on here. Yuga and Co. have found the prototype duel disc. As they discovered the Machine Cavalry Duel Club's secrets, Ashana shows up and challenges Yuga to a duel. Thus begins the decisive showdown, with Rush dueling and the pride of the Machine Cavalry Duel Club at stake. Now you might be wondering, okay, what does the summary have to tell? Well, that means 38 is going to start Yuga versus Asana. And in regards to that, means that probably 30 and 39, which I expected to be, if you look at the last two arcs, that this is going to be another case of a 13 episode arc. And I am not happy with this at all. I am very upset with the fact that Yuga Asana is happening right away. And the reason for that is, and this is going to definitely be talked about at the end of Arc series, which if you're new to the channel, it's a series I do where I go over the last arc that we've had in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. In this case, it will be the Goha 6 Elementary arc. And talk about the arc, talk about the characters and all that kind of stuff. Talk about the duels, the episodes themselves, and then give it a rating. And definitely coming to the end of this arc, it definitely feels rushed. And I don't like that at all. I'm very disappointed with this arc, especially since it had a very strong beginning. And this is something that I think is going to be a problem going forward, because I feel like they're just going to keep on this train with the 13 episodes, especially since the last, now probably 3 arcs is going to be 13 episodes. Now, before you say, well, maybe they'll still extend it a little bit longer, I don't think so, because not only have they reached their destination at the end, but there's no way a Rush Duel is going to last more than 2 episodes. I think it's honestly impossible to do that, unless you basically go to the skim of your deck to do it, which even that, it depends on when the duel starts. Like, if you had 2 full episodes of dueling, then yeah, that's definitely not going to be able to be the case for 3 episodes, especially if you start immediately afterwards. You would have to have a lot of backstory to kind of do something like that, but I don't think they're going to do that. So that is a big concern for me, and the reason I say this is a concern is I feel like 13 episodes for this series is too tight. for what Yugioh Sevens has been trying to do, what Studio Bridge has been trying to do with this series. An example of this that I want to kind of mention has to regards the Rons and Rinosuke duel from episode 36. I was very disappointed in that episode, to be honest. I wanted to be a little bit more positive side, but I couldn't. I tried my best, but I'm going to be a little bit more out there this time, and I was very disappointed with the episode. I'm going to say that much. I mean, the jokes just didn't hit it for me. The duel was just kind of there, and it didn't move the plot forward. And I feel like with a 13 episode limit that they've been going at, wasting time on an episode is not something you should be doing right now, especially when you're at the final stages of the arc. And even the last 3 episodes, I didn't think were really that great as well. Sure, I enjoyed 35, maybe a little bit more than 34 and 36, but the issue is still is that I feel like you're wasting time trying to show off these other characters when you're trying to do more with your main story as well. You're trying to build up characters, which is good. It's good, but with the amount of characters you have in this series, there is just no healthy way of doing it very well in a 13 episode span. I just don't think it's possible. So that gets into a big concern. You're trying to grow all these characters in basically a 13 episode span, which is going to cause characters not to get the growth that they deserve. Like in this last arc, I think Yuga shouldn't have gotten another duel. I think Roman should have gotten another duel. To be honest, and this is actually in regards to the last 2 arcs, I think the villain should have dueled a little bit more. You think about back in the Maximum arc, every single one of Neil's henchmen only dueled once and never has been shown again, honestly, except for Sebastian and Neil. Those are the only characters. We haven't seen Geta, we haven't seen Sorako, we haven't seen Schrodinger, we haven't seen Arya, we have not seen any of those characters. So, and that is a little bit disappointing as well, but maybe there just wasn't as important. But coming to this arc, you have a shorter cast, and Gallian got 2 duels, Asana got 1, and technically Chevalier doesn't get any, as Dove ends up dueling in this upcoming episode 37, so yeah, I mean, come on. I feel like with 13 episodes, you still want to try to grow your villains, especially with you having a shorter one. The problem with the Maximum arc in their villains is that they had too many villains for their time. Because you had, what? You had Schrodinger, you had Arya, you had Sorako, Sebastian, and it would probably be 6. Yeah, there's around 6 characters. I'm not going to count it out right now. Around 6 characters in that arc. That you have to try to get a good amount of duels in 13 episodes. And then, remember, 13, 14, and 15 weren't even involved with them. It was kind of built up towards Neil and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I just feel like these times has just been too short. And to give these other characters duels and have more comedic duel-like episodes in a 13 episode span, with you trying to have a main story in it as well, I think is way too short, and they really need to fix this problem. Now, how would they fix this? How would they be able to fix this? It's very simple. You just upgrade the episodes. Now, a reason I believe that they're not doing this, it has to be in regards to the DVDs. When they've been releasing these DVDs in Japan, they've been doing it all 13 episodes. They've done everything in one arc. So they're probably because of their limits, they're doing 13 episodes. They're trying to do as much as they can, but they want to put all these arcs into one DVD. Now, obviously, this is not confirmed. This is just a hypothesis, a theory, whatever you want to call it, in regards to this, but I feel like this just makes the most sense. They want everything to be in a DVD set all in once in this one arc. So, that kind of is an issue in regards to that. However, you can still do 13 episodes in a DVD set and still have longer episodes. How you do that? Double the episodes. Make it, instead of 13 episodes, 26. And just make it like a part 1 and part 2. It's not that difficult, and it doesn't break the system that you've been doing. Sure, that doesn't mean you're putting a full arc into a DVD set, but I don't think you should be doing that. I feel like you should be more focused on growing your story and growing your characters, more than just making sure you can fit the 13 episode gap. I feel like just having 13 episodes is way too short, and you need to really expand that. And what does that do when you expand the episodes? It gets more time for these non-Yuga and Co characters to get their duels and get some growth. It gives you opportunity to grow your main cast a little bit more. It lets you grow your villains. Another thing that I've had a problem with was the villains. I don't think the villains are getting enough duels, and again with that is because of the fact that with this 13 episodes, you don't get much. And also, I want the main antagonist to just not only duel Yuga. Neil dueled Yuga twice and that was it, and Asana's going to be dueling Yuga twice and that's it. Like, are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? You should be giving them more duels. And another thing too is Yuga. Yuga, I feel like when it comes to episodes in between the loss of the antagonist and then the eventual win against the antagonist, I feel like he needs to get a duel in between. And now this might just be in terms of my opinion and how a character should be grown, but I feel like that he didn't do anything in terms of going against the main antagonist in their group, and he was just kind of walking around and just solving puzzles and stuff like that and not dueling. And then the next episode he's dueling, getting a maximum card and potentially winning, because I'm going to be honest, I believe he's going to just get a maximum card in 38 or 39 and just win the duel. I really do believe that. And that kind of sucks, to be honest, because you're basically just getting repetitive at that point, and you're just repeating the same thing over and over again. And I just feel like there's just not any growth with that. So you having Yuga get some duels in there makes it a little bit more like, okay, he's learning from his mistakes and he'd be ready for Asana. Or at least for this arc, whatever the next main antagonist is. And then you grow a main antagonist as well, like get them a couple of duels. In fact, being someone in the main crew, I feel like that grows them even more, and it makes it a case again like who might win. Both of them have been growing, and Sana in this case, or whatever main antagonist it is, has the upper hand because not only has he beaten the protagonist before, but they continue to grow as the series goes on as well. So I feel like if you do something like that, not only are you growing your characters, but you're having more times, like if you want to have like an episode where it's just a more comedic episode and kind of get away from the plot, you can do that, and you have plenty of time to do that with 26 episodes. There's many things you can do with that amount of episodes. Like, you don't have to do what the last Yu-Gi-Oh series has been doing and doing like 40 to 50 episodes if they don't want to do that, if they want to have more of these like smaller arcs, because 26 episodes, it might seem quite a bit, but not as much. That's only half of what normal arcs in Yu-Gi-Oh shows are, and I don't think that really hurts them in any regards at all. I feel like this benefits them more to kind of extend the more episodes, because you can get more with the villains, more with your characters, and just have a better story and not make it rushed. A problem with this arc, like I said before, is that this arc just feels rushed. So I feel like doing this and like doubling your episodes, not only do you keep that 13 episodes you're trying to do, for at least DVD sets. I know it's not going to be 13 episodes every arc like they've been doing it, but I feel like you shouldn't have been doing that for the beginning, because I feel like 13 is just way too short, it's way too tight, and you're not going to do anything, especially if you're getting the amount of characters. And I want to give a shout out real quick to Christopher B for actually counting these out. I didn't get the chance to count them out because I kind of got busy with work and I wasn't able to do it, but he was able to count over 30 characters, almost 40 characters of some relevance of importance in terms of like getting like words of dialogue in the episode or something like that, or like has actually been somewhat relevant to the story, not just like a playing character in the background. Almost 40 characters. That is insane. That is probably as big, if not bigger, than Arc 5's cast. So, yeah. I feel like if you're going to have a lot of characters in this arc, like think about this, you have Asana's group, and then you can count the other ones like Finger Chicago and whatever, Caterpillar, whatever his name was. And then you have Yuga's group, and then you have Tiger, you had Metsuboro, Sushiko, what was the cowboy's name? Nick, I think it was something like that. Then you have like Yoshio, you had Bakuro actually speaking this time. You had Khan, Hunter, like you had quite a bit of characters in this arc. And think about like Khan and Hunter, for example. I feel like even though Hunter showed some importance, I feel like he just was there just to keep the plot going. I don't feel like he did really that much. I don't think he was really that impressive to me in my regards. Khan, who is the main leader of that, didn't do anything. Bakuro didn't really do anything as well. I feel like the only one that really did anything in the side characters was Sushiko and Tiger. That was it. And then you had like Rons and Renosuke as well. But then, like I said before, then you get duels like the Rons and Renosuke duel. So, yeah. So, that's kind of my whole thought process on stuff like on this whole arc, and I really do hope that they change this. Now, do I think they will? Sadly, I do not think they're going to do this, and that bothers me, because if this is the case and we're going to stick with this 13 episode trend, I'm worried that going forward, we're just going to be having rushed arcs. I'm really scared about that, especially looking at this last arc, because I'm going to be honest, the last arc I felt like was rushed to some degree as well. The fact that Otis was the reason they got three out of the 5 penalties, I feel like was unacceptable. And then you also have a 1 episode gap between your protagonist dueling your antagonist the first time, then the second time. Like, that is ridiculous. You shouldn't have been having gaps like that. Now, to be fair, this arc did a lot better, but still, like, I feel like you wish you had some middle content. Instead, you get duels that really do nothing for the plot. And then you get also episodes that literally do nothing. They do nothing more than a comedic episode. But doubling your episodes gives you more opportunity to do that. And guess what? It makes your arcs not feel rushed. And maybe I'm over exaggerating. Maybe you guys don't feel like the arc is rushed at all. Maybe you feel like it was a good pace or something like that. You feel like it was pretty well. And if that's the case, I completely understand. And this is just my thoughts. And I definitely want to know your guys' thoughts down below. But this is just an issue that I've just been seeing that I really just needed to get off my chest. I wanted just to talk to you guys about it and just please let me know what you guys' thoughts on this. Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm just a little bit over exaggerating and you think like you don't need to worry as much, you think the series is going to be fine, or whatever the case might be? This is just something I think I just really needed to get off my chest, because this is a worry that I was kind of having throughout the arc. Since, honestly, 25, I kind of started having this feeling, and then saw the 26 summary, and then I was like, okay, something is feeling a little bit weird with these these last couple episodes, and it's kind of getting concerning. And now you get to this point where I feel like everything was just rushed. And it makes me upset, because I was really enjoying this arc. I feel like this arc was probably my favorite arc going into this. Like, if this arc kept the same pace, when I did my end of arc series, I'm pretty sure this series or this arc would have been an 8 or 9 out of 10 for me. I really do believe that. But after this might be a 6 at best. And I'm really, well, maybe a 7. I don't think it's going to be lower than that, because I'm not going to discredit what they've been doing. I just feel like the rush at the end was just a little bit disappointing. But obviously we'll get more into that in that video. But guys, that is going to be it. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know this is something that I don't really do on the channel, and I didn't want to do this video. I honest to God did not want to do this video, but again, this is just a video that I felt like it just needed to be addressed and needs to be fixed. I really do think that this needs to be fixed, or this might be a case of going through these next couple of arcs and throughout the rest of the series, that a good amount of the arcs are just either going to just be like okay arcs, or they're just going to be like good arcs but were rushed at the very end. And I'm very nervous about this. And I'm going to be honest, I've been enjoying Sevens. I've been enjoying it more than I originally thought at the very beginning. I remember at Jump Festa when the thing came out, and I was very disappointed to see the show, and I almost didn't want to watch the show because of everything that ended up happening. But I ended up taking the show a chance, liked the more comedic turn they took with it, especially after what Vrains was. And it was just a good balance to have for the series. But I'm just really worried about this series. And if I'm a little over exaggerating on this, again, let me know all you guys' thoughts on this. I really, really would appreciate it. But guys, this is going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, guys, take care and have yourselves a great rest of your day.